Hey shippers, so I wanted to talk about season three of Bridgerton. I want to give you guys my thoughts and basically my predictions for season three of Bridgerton because we're getting the Colin and Penelope storyline, and the next season is going to be a year from now. So a year from now, we're going to have it's still going to be fallout between Eloise and Penelope. And then on top of that, like, Colin is always traveling. And for those of y'all, the reason why Colin's always traveling is because he's trying to find himself. He doesn't really want to be like, he's trying to make a name for himself. And it's kind of hard to do when you are the third brother. You know, you have Anthony, he's like the Viscount, you know, he has all this responsibility. And then you have Benedict, who's a writer. And then you're there and you're kind of lost. Like, I felt like in the first season, he was really drawn to Marina because he basically wanted to he was drawn to Marina because, you know, she was pretty, but maybe marriage would make him a man or something like that. And then so it's going to be really interesting because, you know, Penelope is going to go through her glow up. Like, you know, now she's older now. She done had 3 seasons to find a husband and she has yet to find one yet. You know, her and Eloise are basically about to be spinsters. And then you have spinsters is just a word from a woman on the shelf, an old maid, basically how Kate was. And, you know, her first sister, who was engaged, you know, but Penelope wants, you know, even though I bet it was hard for Penelope because Eloise talks down about marriage being a trap and everything. And when it comes to Eloise, she doesn't really respect the fact that women want different things. And as a woman, it's like, don't shame other women for wanting to be married or having a family or being a homemaker. You know, like, that's very anti-feminist when it comes to Eloise for me. Like, she's very judgmental, but you know, but they're both very immature. um yeah, so it's going to be really nice to see Penelope come into her own. In order for this season to work, Colin's going to have to grovel. Like, he's going to have to grovel, beg. Did my internet go out? Did my internet go out? Yeah, I hate when this internet go out, bro. So basically, in order to make this season work for me, we need to see Colin beg, basically grovel for Penelope back. Because we saw in the past seasons Penelope groveling for Colin, trying to get his attention. And after what Colin literally said to her in front of his friends, talking about he would never dream about um courting Penelope, it goes back to like that whole fat phobia because she's overweight and all that other stuff. He don't want to see her as a viable option. But it's very clear to me that Colin um basically wants to use Penelope as like this support, and he really likes the fact that Penelope likes him, but he don't like her. Like, he likes the attention that Penelope gives him. Does that make sense? um I have no idea how they're going to repair Eloise and Penelope's relationship. What what Penelope did was so foul and trash. I don't know how anybody can justify what she done. When you put it into perspective, Penelope sat there and wrote about how Eloise was unchaperoned with a man of the lower class. Women in this time period couldn't hold hands with the man, couldn't be alone with the man without it being scandal because people will always take the man's side. So the fact that she done that, I'm prepared. Like, I already know that Eloise is going to be slut shamed throughout the entire third season. Like, there's no way to spin it. There's no way to flip it. People already know about Theo Sharp, the little printer boy that she was flirting with, and that they had a little rendezvous. They had this little friendship, cute. Like, Eloise is so naive. She's like, "Oh, my friendship," but she's calling him by his first name, which is frowned upon. You know, you call him Mr. Sharp, but she's always calling him Theo because she has such a crush on him. And it's one of the first times she felt seen by a guy who, you know, he's like a rebel. He's a radical. Like, he has all these progressive ideas, and she's like so attracted to that. And he's wholesome, and he works, and he's not a part of like the elite. Like, he's just a regular guy. And I really, really like their relationship. Like, I love how organically they met, because the way women are supposed to be meet men, they're supposed to be chaperones by their mother. Their mother's supposed to be in the background. They're supposed to be, it's always some bullshit. Like, she can never catch the vibe. Like, it was just very nice. Eloise, she was trying to find Lady Whistle down. She sat up there, and she basically, she stole the carriage, went to the other side of town to, to do her investigation, which she shouldn't have done. Like, a woman is not supposed to do things like that. But she went to the poor side of town to get the scoop, to basically get the scoop. And, he was working there, and he was talking to her, and they just like caught the vibe. Like, it was the first time Eloise ever been clocked, because usually people just let her best friend was Lady Whistle down, and if she just took the time out to listen to Penelope, she would have already knew. But Eloise runs her mouth so much to the point where, like, she thought she was gonna do it with tell Theo off and come from this really entitled place, and he was like, "Ma'am, I'm at my job. You need to girl, shut up. I'm at my job, and if you want to talk about feminism and all that," he clocked her. And it was so great to see. And she was speechless. She was like, "Oh, masculine energy?" Like, Eloise was like, wait a minute. Eloise was flabbergasted. She said, "Wait a minute. I'm a feminist, but masculine energy is wait a minute." She didn't know what this was, so she had to. Oh my God, here go my thing messing up again. She was flabbergasted. She didn't know what was going on. She was like, "Oh my God, I never been checked before. I never what?" So she ended up going to like the little rally, and then he was like, "Oh, so you like my work?" And cause he's a writer, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, the way they was flirting with each other was so cute. He was like, "What's your name?" She was like, "Eloise Bridgerton." And he was like, hello, Eloise Bridgerton. My name is Theo Sharp." And she was like, "I know." That "I know" was so iconic. He was like, I was like, what I know is I read your book, and she was shook. She was shook. Baby was shook. And they almost kissed. And I really want to see them become friends again. It doesn't even have to be a relationship. Just be friends with him. And I really want to see her, basically, because she broke up her friendship with Penelope, because Penelope was gaslighting the fuck out of her. And I was really fucking mad at her for what she did. She was gaslighting her and everything, like broke up her relationship, and then turned around and wrote about her. Eloise is like, damn, not only did you write about my sister, you wrote about my brother, you wrote about me, like, you're writing about our family. Like, girl, why would I ever be fucking cool with that? You basically disrespected me and ruined my reputation as a lady, even though Eloise doesn't want to be a lady. Like, you ruined my reputation. Like, girl, like, I was never gonna really get a husband because of my loud ass mouth. I'm really not getting them now. Now that people think I'm a whore, I'm really not gonna get them now, girl. So after what Penelope did was foul, what she did to Marina was fucking foul. You could have told Colin that in private. You did not need to blast it all over the fucking news. Why would you do that? You did that to be fucking spiteful. And then the crazy thing was, Colin said, girl, I would have married you anyway. Even if she was pregnant, I still would have chose Marina. I never would have chose you, Penelope. And that's the sad thing. Like, Penelope, like, oh girl, like you fighting for this man who don't want you. He only gonna want you next season because he can't have you. And that's gonna be the gag. That's gonna be the gag of the fucking century. Because I can't believe it. Like, I was so like, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel. Do I want to see Colin and fucking Penelope have sex on my screen? I don't know if I really want to see that. But you know what I do want to see? Theo and Eloise. I want to see it. Like, I'm hoping that, because I know Theo is not going to be her love interest, is Sir Philip, but I'm hoping that she date Theo for half the season. Theo has to leave to like America. He has to, publish and write, and they break it off. I would be okay with that. And she's lonely, and she starts being friends with Sir Philip, and then realize that Sir Philip is the one for her. I feel like I personally like Theo more than Sir Philip, but y'all like that little botanist man with them fucking kids, with Marina's husband. I don't even know if they're gonna kill off Marina. The way I see it, I feel like Marina gonna run away and abandon her fucking kids. There's no way. I don't see her committing suicide. I feel like if she is gonna commit suicide, I feel like her and Eloise need to go visit her, because now she know Penelope's Lady Whistledown, and they need to sit down and have a conversation. Like, girl, like, did Lady Whistledown ruin your life, girl? Because she ruined mine too. And they need to have that kiki cackle, but Eloise still doesn't sell out Penelope, but just be like, girl, she ain't shit, and I would love to see it. I love to see it. I would love to see her and Marina and Eloise. I would love to see her go over to her house and them kiki and cackle about how Penelope ain't shit. And it needs to be said. It needs to be done. It needs to be done. I want to see it. I want to see it on my screen. I do. I really, really do. Um, we need the sex from Kate and Anthony that we missed in season 2, because, like, what the fuck? We need to just sprinkle them in there. I want to see Kate being the lady of the house, running the house with her husband Anthony. I want to see it. But yeah, like I want to see that scene, maybe a scene with Eloise and Marina, them linking up. But then she doesn't meet Sir Philip just yet. I want it to be like a thing where Eloise is waiting for like gentlemen callers, and there's no callers coming from her door, and then Sir Philip pops up, and then it's this instant attraction. But like he's like, oh, I'm here for Colin. That I want to see something like that. Like, oh, you think that he's gonna be there for Eloise? No, he's here for Colin. Because if you remember, him and Colin are friends. That's something I want to see. That would be a cap. That would be a gag. That would be a gag. And then I want to see something like that. I want to, like, because we're skipping over Benedict's story. Benedict gets with a maid named Sophie. So, like, I'm hoping that Theo is somehow related to Sophie, or like Eloise is dressing like a boy or a commoner, and her and Theo are like promenading around the goddamn town, being cute, holding hands, and I guess something happens with Sophie. Maybe they're near a brothel and something, a man grabs her, and John, defends Sophie. And, Rot takes her home. I want to see someone like in the middle of the night. Maybe Eloise sneaking out in the middle of the night. That's how you tie in the story of them. That little Cinderella story going on. That would be fire. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me what y'all think about these motherfucking predictions and these thoughts. Because I want to know what y'all feel, because they're doing the books out of order. I want to see Edwina with the prince. Hopefully he cut his sideburns. I want to see Marina. I want to see not Marina. I want to see um Edwina, Kate's sister with the fucking prince. That would be a gag. She's with the prince. Kate is with the Viscount. The Bridgertons are eating, but they have a terrible stain on their reputation because of Eloise. That would be fire. That would be fire. Cause like they did so much, but I have high hopes. But I don't know. I don't know if Theo's not in this season and they just left Theo and Eloise at a bad fucking basically state. That would not sit right with me. I would really, really hate that if they don't bring him back because I feel like that makes sense to bring him the fuck back. Just like I thought they were gonna bring back Sienna. Like bring back Sienna so she can see Kate, Anthony with Kate. That's drama. You know, like maybe Sienna comes back and she's just like, "Oh, I want to be Kate. I want to be Anthony's mistress." And Anthony's like, "No, no, 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 baby. I love her. Like, I want to see that. Like, Marie, like Serena pops up. That would be a gag too. Like, I feel like they have so much things they could work with, and they're not doing shit, and it's really pissing me off. Like, enough with the Federatons. Like, I'm so sick of them. Like, the show is called Bridgerton. Let's talk about the Bridgertons. Let's develop, you know, let's develop Benedict's story. And that would be a good way to break from it because she's supposed to be sending letters off to she's supposed to be sending letter off to Sir Philip. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Oh my god. Oh my god. The way this internet, child, this internet is really fucking me up. I can't stand it. I'm setting this shit in the